Hey, it's Bonnie, and today I'm making a world edit command block tutorial. In this tutorial I'll show you a few commands that I like to use to edit my world. These commands are really useful if you like editing big areas of your worlds, or if you're like a map maker, or if you just want to edit a big area of your map. These commands are really useful for that. Also, I got an add-on that does the exact same thing. These are a lot of the commands I use on that add-on. And let me show you a few examples of what I mean. Also, before I start, the way I activate all these commands is holding a sword. So all these repeating command blocks are going to be the exact same thing. They're going to be the exact same command block. The only difference is the command block that goes after it. So the chain command blocks are going to be the only difference. All these repeating command blocks are going to be the same. And let me show you what I mean. What this repeating command block allows you to do is to choose when you want to activate the command, instead of having it active all the time. So for example, if I hold a sword, it sends a signal and it activates the command that goes after the repeating command block. I would recommend doing it like this, since a lot of these command blocks can destroy some areas of your map if you're not careful. And let me show you the first command block. So this first one is gonna be really useful if you want to flatten a big area. So if I activate this one, it's gonna allow me to flatten big areas of the world just by walking around. So if I go up to this, nothing's gonna happen, and only activates whenever I'm holding a sword. So this is why I said it's a good idea to use the sword to activate these commands. So as long as I'm holding the sword, it's gonna start flattening whatever area I walk towards. And it goes from my feet all the way up to 10 blocks, and as long as I'm holding the sword, it's gonna keep flattening the area, and whenever I let go of it, it stops. And let me show you how this one works. And this first one is just used to activate the next one. So this is how you activate the command using a sword, and this is how you're gonna have to set it up. So it's gonna have to be in repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And this is the command, so it's gonna be enchant your gamertag sharpness 1. So for this command, it's gonna enchant, and then if you're the only person in your world, you could put @p instead of your gamertag. But if there's more than one person in your world, then you're gonna have to put your gamertag, so it doesn't activate the command at every player. So right here where I have my gamertag, just replace this with your gamertag, and then sharpness, and then 1. So all this is doing is enchanting a sword on whichever player you choose. Like I said, you can put @p if you're the only one in your world, but if there's more than one person in your world, then I would recommend just putting your gamertag. And then once it detects that you have a sword in your hand, it's going to activate this chain command block. And let me show you how to set this one up. So for this one's going to be chain conditional, make sure it's conditional, and then always active. So it's not going this one's not going to activate until this one activates, and this one only activates whenever you're holding a sword. Whenever the player that you specify is holding a sword, it activates this chain command block. And this is the command for flattening a big area. So it's going to be execute and then your gamertag. So we'll replace this with your gamertag, and then tilde tilde tilde, and then slash fill tilde 10 tilde tilde -10 tilde -10 tilde 10 tilde 10, and then air. And you can make this one, you can make it a bigger area. You can change this to 20s instead of 10s, or whatever you want. But if you make it too big, it might get laggy. So I would recommend just copying exactly like this. Also, I'll have all the commands in the description and a map download in case you guys don't understand me. There's all the commands are going to be in the description, along with a world download, so you guys could try them out yourself. And that's all you have to do, is just these two commands. And let me show you the next one. This one's going to be a brush. So whenever I'm holding a sword, this one will copy a small brush or wherever I'm looking. So you can use this to make mountains or hills, or do whatever you want with this. This one just makes making structures a lot easier. So wherever you're looking, up or down, it's going to follow you around. And it only activates whenever you're holding a sword. So whenever you want to stop building, you just let go of the sword, and it stops cloning the structure that you chose. Only when you're holding the sword, it's gonna start placing blocks. And let me show you how this one works. So this one's also gonna be only 2 command blocks. And the first one, it's the exact same thing as the first commands. So let me show you the command. It's going to be repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And this is the command. It's the exact same thing again. Enchant, and then your gamertag. Replace this with your gamertag, and then sharpness 1. And like I said, this one is just used to activate the following command. So for this one, you're gonna need to build a small structure. This is what I built. You don't have to build it exactly like this, but you can use any structure you want. And you're gonna use the clone command, so you're gonna need the coordinates for the highest point of the structure. So for me, it would be -80, 75, and 286. And then you want to go to the other corner and get the coordinates for the lowest part. So for me, it's going to be -85, 69, and 281, but it's going to be different for everyone. And like I said, you can make this as big or as small as you want, but the bigger you make it, the laggier it's going to be. And so once you have the highest point and the lowest point, the coordinates for the highest and the lowest point, this is the command that you're going to use. So you're going to have to place a chain command block, and let me show you the command. So it's going to be chain conditional always active, and this is the command. So it's going to be execute, and then your gamer tag changes to your gamer tag. But like I said, if you're the only one in the world, then you can put @p, but I would recommend just putting your gamer tag, and then tilde. And so then it's going to be clone, and then the coordinates of your lowest point. So for me, it was -85, 69, and 281. And then the coordinates of the highest point. So for me, it was -80, 74, and 286. But this is going to be different for everyone depending on where you build your structure and whatever coordinates you have to use. So don't copy this exactly. This is going to be different for everyone depending where you built it and wherever the structure is. And then you want to put 3 of these arrows pointing up, and then at the end 10. So here at the end where it says 10, this is how far away from you it's going to be. So right now it's cloning it 10 blocks in front of me. So if you wanted to make this closer or further away, you could change this to whatever number you want. I just have it set to 10, but you can copy exactly like this, or you can just change it around however you want. And then at the end you want to put masked. What this does is that it makes it so whenever it clones the structure, it doesn't clone the air around it. So make sure that at the end it says masked. And that's pretty much it. This one is really simple but really helpful. And let me show you the next commands. So if I activate this, what this one does is that it removes trees. So whenever that one is activated, as long as whenever I hold the sword, it's going to remove the trees. And this will remove any type of tree wherever I look, up to 30 blocks away. So this makes clearing big areas of woods really easy. And let me show you how this one works, and it will work with any type of tree. So this one's going to use 3 different commands, and like I said, the first one is the exact same as the other ones. So it's going to be repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And it's going to be enchant, your gamertag, sharpness, and then 1. Then the next one is going to be a chain command block. It's going to be chain, conditional, make sure it's conditional and always active. And this one's going to be execute, and then put your gamer tag, and then tilde, fill, and then it's going to be 6 of these arrows pointing up, and then a 30 at the end. You can change this to whatever number you want. It's just distance. And then you want to put air, 0, and then replace leaves. So the way this command block works is that it's activating the fill command at your gamer tag wherever you're at. So if you put 3 tilde, it doesn't matter where you are. And then it's going to fill up to 30 blocks in front of you with air. So if you write replace, what this does is that you could specify which block it's going to be replacing with air. So right here I chose leaves. This makes it so it replaces all the leaves up to 30 blocks in front of me with air. So you copy this command block exactly like it is. You just have to replace the gamer tag. That's all you have to do. And then the next command block is going to be chain, conditional, and then always active. And this is going to be the exact same. It's just a little bit different. So it's going to be execute, your gamer tag, tilde, fill, then 6 of these arrows pointing up, 30, then air, 0, replace, log. So this one's the same as the other one, except the only difference is that instead of replacing leaves, it's replacing logs. When these two are combined, it makes it so it removes all the trees. up to 30 blocks in front of you, but like I said, you can change this to a higher or lower number, whatever you want, but if you make it too high, it might not work. So you can copy this exactly like it is. Like I said, just change your gamer tag, and that's pretty much it. And these next command blocks are going to be pretty much the exact same thing as this one. I'm just going to show you a few different things that you can do with this. So if I activate this one will make it so it removes the water, but like I said, using the sword makes it a lot better since you only remove it whenever you want, not all the time. So it's not active all the time. So if I hold the sword, it starts removing the water. So like I said, the first one is just used to activate it using the sword. So all these are going to be the same, but I'm still going to show it. It's going to be repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And then it's going to be enchant, your gamer tag, sharpness, and then 1. And then the following command, it's just going to be a chain command block, chain, conditional, and always active. And this one's going to be the exact same one as the other command. It's just a bit different. So it's going to be execute, your gamer tag, tilde, fail, and then 6 of these arrows pointing up. And then you can choose the distance. You can change this to a higher or lower number, whatever you want. And then air, 0. Replace, and then water. So you can use this to remove the water, and like I said, you can just change this around. So you can, if you change this where it says water, if you change it to lava, it will remove all the lava. So there's a few different things you could do with this. And let me show you the next command block, and let me show you another example of what you could do with that command. So like I said, you can use this to replace any block, and then you can choose which block you want to replace it with. So if right now I have it set so it replaces all the grass, only grass, with wool. So whenever I'm holding the sword, it starts replacing all the grass with wool. And you can specify what color of wool or what other block. It doesn't actually have to be wool. You can replace it with any block you want. And this only gets activated whenever I'm holding the sword, so that makes it a lot easier. And let me show you this command block and how you can change it. So the first one is just activating whenever I'm holding the sword. So it's repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And this the exact same command. Enchant, your gamer tag, sharpness, and then 1. And then the next command block is a chain command block, conditional, and always active. And this is going to be the exact same thing as the other ones. Execute, your gamer tag, tilde, fail, and then 6 of these arrows pointing up. Then 30, and then here, this is where you specify the block that you want to be placing. So right now I have it set to wool, and then the damage value. So wool has 16 different colors, and the way you choose different colors just by changing the data value. So wool could go up to 0 to 16. So you can change this around, or you could actually choose whatever block you want. For example, if I want to replace all the blocks with a beacon, I can just type in beacon here, and then the damage value, which is 0, and then replace. So when you put replace, it only sets the beacon wherever the block you specify is. So right now I have it set to grass, so it's only gonna set the beacons wherever it finds grass. So for example, so right now I set it so it replaces the grass with beacon. So whenever I hold the sword, it replaces all the grass wherever I'm looking up to 30 blocks away with beacons. And you can change that around however you want. And let me show you the last command. So this one can be used to make pretty big structures. So whenever you're holding a sword, what this command is going to do is that it's going to build a big structure all the way from level 0. So if I hold the sword, it starts placing blocks from level 0 all the way to wherever you're standing. So if I go up higher, it starts building it higher. And this places it like right below your feet, so you could use this to just walk around and then place structures wherever you want. Use this to make like really big walls really fast. And like I said, it's only whenever you're holding the sword. So if you're not holding the sword, it doesn't place any blocks, and as soon as you start holding the sword, it starts placing the blocks again. And I made this so it doesn't break any block, it builds around the block. So let me show you what I mean. So this one doesn't break any blocks, it just places them on top of the blocks. It won't break anything. And let me show you how to do this one. This one is really simple too. It's only 2 command blocks, and the first one is just use to activate it. So it's going to be repeat, unconditional, and needs redstone. And this is going to be enchant your gamertag sharpness 1. And the next command block is going to be chain, conditional, and always active. And this one's going to be execute your gamertag, and then tilde, tilde, tilde. Then it's going to be fill, tilde, 0, and make sure this 0 does not have a tilde, and then tilde again. And then tilde, tilde, -1, and then tilde. So what this does is it places blocks from level 0 all the way up to 1 block below your feet. So if you doesn't matter what height you're at, it's gonna place the blocks like right below your feet. And then here you choose whatever block you want to be placing. So I have it set to stone brick, but you can change this to any block you want. And then 0, and then keep. Make sure it says keep at the end. So whenever you put keep, what this does is it makes it so it doesn't destroy any block. It only places blocks wherever it detects air. And that's pretty much it. If enough people are interested in this, I'll make a part 2. I'll show you a lot more commands that you could add to your world that will help you edit it a lot quicker.